My name is Joseph and I am your go-to graphic designer. Today, join me as we design a Jamhuri Day poster inside of Adobe Photoshop. Inside of Adobe Photoshop, you come to File, New, and then I want to use F4. If you don't see it in your recents, you come here to the Print tab, you'll find it somewhere, F4, and then hit Create, like so. The second step is to import the subject of this poster, which is my picture. So I'll go to File Explorer and drag that picture onto the canvas, or I can come here to Place Embedded, navigate to my File Explorer and get that picture. So my picture is imported. It's a raster file, and now I want to remove the background so that I have more flexibility with the room around the subject. To do that, you come to Select and then Subject. It will highlight your subject, and then you click on the mask tool here so that your subject is selected. Let's check if it is perfectly done. Let's just introduce a layer down here. The only areas that have blemishes are these areas, and before that, let me come back here to the mask, go to Filter, Other, Minimum, and for this I'll use 0.9. The purpose of this is to make sure that these areas get more into the subject. For these other areas that did not remove by the inbuilt tool, I'm using a lasso tool, selecting around these areas, making a selection, and then using a brush tool and a black color. So it's a brush tool, and I think my brush is too big. Let me just reduce it, and a black color to hide that mask. What I'm doing is hiding the mask, and I am not erasing anything. I'm doing the same here, so that is now done. The next step is to decide what you want our design to look like. So for my design, I want the subject to be centered and have a brighter background, and then I'll have a few elements down there. So for that, I'll come to Edit and Free Transform so that I can resize the subject and move him around. So I want him somewhere there so that I have more room down here. Another thing, I don't want the green, so I'll delete it. Just hit the layer and hit delete on your keyboard to remove it. And then I'll introduce a different kind of color, a brighter color, maybe that shade of orange. And then with my brush, just paint it. So this forms a part of my background. I don't know if I should call it a background, but I want a layer on top of this subject. This layer should have the green as in the Kenyan flag. So before I go to that green, I want to import a resource that will help guide me on the colors of Kenya. And that resource is this stripe of the Kenyan flag. So from here, I'm able to pick the green using a color picker. This is the color picker. I'm able to pick this green. I'm able to pick the red. The black remains as black, so I'll pick it from my U-cube. I'll do a new layer on top of the subject, and then I want a wash of green. So I'll just gently paint it over like that. After this is done, the main text that I want to type here is Jamhuri. So I'll go to my text tool or my type tool, Jamhuri, type Jamhuri on the keyboard, hit the check mark and drag it above everything else. come back here, make sure the color is white. I am sticking as much as possible closer to the colors of Kenya. So I have my Jamhuri like that. The next step is to decide what font I want for Jamhuri. Whether it's a fancy font like this or an official font. So this is something I'll decide after scrolling through all these fonts. I will settle on this font. Let me do further edits on the font. Come here on the effects, FX, and choose drop shadow. So you will adjust these parameters according to your preference, how you want everything to look like. For me, this works fine. There is this small resource that I had here. Let me just activate it. This one. I want it somewhere, so I'll resize it, put it somewhere here, and using a brush tool, I want to clear. So before I clear that, let me rasterize it so that this can activate clearing. By that I mean I want to have feathered edges, just like that and like that. So now I want to type in happy. For this happy, I want it to be fancier than it is. Let me just use a font that is fancier. Settle on this. Now I have happy and I have Jamhuri. For this happy, I want it to be red, so I'll use this color picker and pick the red on the shield. Happy. Because you cannot see it clearly, I'll introduce a stroke around it. Come to FX and have a stroke around it. There is a conflict of the whites. So I'll move this happy around until I find a better spot for it, and then come back to the effects. To edit an effect, you simply double click on it and then reduce this opacity. Happy Jamhuri. I'll duplicate the happy text, move it down here and type day. Let me just move it all the way down so that I edit it and bring it back. The design looks a little bit scattered, the happy, Jamhuri and day, in terms of how they are placed. So I want to select Jamhuri and happy and day, come here to move tool, and for these options up here, center everything so that the three are centered. The next thing is this happy is still conflicting with Jamhuri. So I want the happy to move behind Jamhuri. Come to the layers panel and move it below Jamhuri like that. The last thing I want to do is to introduce maybe a flag